me, because, oh, it's so nice to see you again. I'm doing book reviews today because I haven't done that in ages. And I did a poll on my Twitter account just to kind of see what people thought of my channel, like whether it was a booktube channel or if it's like a normal channel. Sometimes I get asked to be on like booktube panels and I'm like, can I even speak about that? I haven't spoken about books in ages. So I'm going to speak about some books because I've read about 30 this year and I haven't read any of them. These are all ones that are like coming out or have just come out, and like something I really like doing is kind of reading ahead and seeing what is going to be new and like knowing in advance whether something should be good, so that when you guys hear the hype on the internet and you're like, is that actually real though? You can maybe come here and be like, Leena's already read them, don't worry, I think they might be good, or maybe not. We'll find out. This one's definitely already out. It's called Treats and it's by Lara Williams, and this, I don't usually like short story collections, but the publicist who contacted me was so enthusiastic and sold it to me so hard and so well and so like genuinely that I was like, I might need to get on with this. So she sent it to me and I took it on holiday with me. If you're wondering how to write a short story well, I started thinking genuinely it wasn't possible. This girl is so talented. If you're frustrated with people being like, this is how millennials feel, and you're frustrated with like the current state of the dating scene. I think this, to be honest, I think in the grand scale of humanity, the dating scene's always kind of been a bit of a state. I don't know if anybody else agrees. Like, at least we get a choice in it now. Anyway, the current state of the dating world. This is one of the cleverest and darkest commentaries on that I've read in a very long time, and I'll definitely be rereading it. My favourite one is called Dates, and it's only a page and a half long. But I feel so attached to this character, and that is like absolute skill. Like, you can't teach this. Dust shadow over your eyelids, arrange curls that coil to your shoulders like the swooping slip of a helter-skelter slide. Select underwear with a considered curation of triumph. It goes on. Prepare conversation topics, little flashcards fixed to your mind. Consider how you might pitch yourself. Maybe like a girly girl, or one who can, fix a car, perhaps something more throaty, more gluttural, something perhaps more Germanic. Arrive a little early, survey the restaurant. The tables and the chairs arranged with peculiar gridlock, like the series containing game shows. Decide whether you are the contestant or the host. Be polite and ask questions. Ask lots of questions. Ignore the prickle of pain when he says he doesn't like skinny girls. This is flattery. You are being flattered. The last few lines are: return home. Flip open your laptop. Microwave something to eat. Take up space. Consider why you are even trying to meet someone if you are happiest when left alone. And there's loads of like tiny treats. They're just treats. It's just a treat for the brain, and it'd be perfect for a commute. Even though I like kind of read it in one sitting because I was so like, oh, it's so rich, and it's a little bit of gluttony in your day. And I just thought it was superb. I would read anything that woman writes. That was amazing. Now I wanted to talk about these two together because I think it's really interesting. It's something that I'd like to make a whole video on and maybe just make a life out of or something, is the difference between literary and commercial fiction, because I don't really know what that is anymore. And I was listening to a podcast that I will link below. I think it's called Books on the Nightstand, and it talks about what the hell the difference is, because I don't know. Like, I work in publishing. I've like got an English literature master's from like one of the top universities in the country, and I bloody don't understand, really. Like, I understand, but I don't like understand the real difference between commercial and literary fiction. Like not enough for it to be an excuse. Anyway, so I read these two books, and I found them to be not as different as the conventions of the bookshop or the book cover world would have us believe. I won't elaborate too much here, but this, written by Anne Tyler. Anne Tyler has been shortlisted for I don't know how many literary awards, and probably won some too. This is part of the Hogarth series. It's a series that Vintage are publishing, and they're all retellings of Shakespeare stories. So it's all very revered, it's all very fine. It's, Vintage is very like literary imprint, and it's very literary. This is Mhairi McFarlane. Who's that girl? It's about a girl who goes to a wedding and accidentally kisses the groom, and then gets extradited from her community and goes and lives back in Nottingham, where she's from. Mhairi McFarlane writes very commercial rom-coms for the commercial, sometimes some people would say supermarket market, although anyway, I found the quality of writing, because this is so pared down and so stripped down, and this is so what someone would consider readable, to be of like a similar reading level completely. Like, I would happily, under any circumstances, would give somebody with the same reading level both these books, and I'd be like, you're gonna have no trouble, mate, don't even worry about it. This is a retelling of what is essentially a 15th century rom-com by somebody who doesn't write rom-coms. That's fine. I think Anne Tyler is a brilliant writer, and I really enjoyed this. It was gentle, it was true to the sense of the play, and the play is very like, it's not a feminist play, but Kate, the main character, is a feminist character, if that makes any sense. And I think that was a really good balance that she struck there, and she clearly understands what Shakespeare was trying to do and stayed really true to that while also making it really readable and funny. However, Kate is the funniest woman, or one of the funniest women, in the literary canon, especially, you know, that thing that's accepted by men who wear beige and teach literary courses. This was funnier. If you're going to find somebody to write the funniest character in the canon, I would suggest maybe getting Mhairi McFarlane on it, because she's the funniest woman. She's the funniest woman, and she's clever about it as well. And it kind of breaks my heart to see these two things on such different levels of the shop when the wit is identical. The writing level on a kind of like the complex use of words and allusions and phrases is the same, and you just sit there and you read these back to back and you go, how are you so separate? Anyway, I loved this. I thought it was very good. It doesn't really make me want to read any more Anne Tyler, because I think what I loved about it was the story and the plot twists and the characters. And while she did a really, really good adaptation, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a really gentle read, I don't know, it wasn't like memorable. But look at the cover though. However, this, I'm going to do an author spotlight on Mhairi McFarlane as soon as I can, but I just wanted to tell you about this urgently because it just came out a few weeks ago, and I just think it's sensational. For somebody whose mind is very fast to wander, she kept my attention the whole way through, and not just through the device of so in the podcast that I was trying to talk about earlier, basically they say that the difference between literary fiction and commercial fiction is that literary fiction, the journey of the character happens in the mind, and with commercial fiction, the journey of the character happens outside. So all of the interesting and funny things are things that happen to the character. Both happens here. She has complex thought processes. She's a very intelligent main character. She's not just wandering through the world being like, oh, who's in love with me today? She has existential breakdowns, but she's funny about it. Yes, there are some comedic things that happen in the book. She starts ghostwriting this autobiography for this guy who is one of the main characters in what is basically Game of Thrones, but not stated, another kind of Game of Thrones. And she hates him, and he hates her, and it's that, visceral play on hate and love, and it's so vivid and so good, and just so good. And the jokes were sharp, really sharp, and there was so much on a page that you could look at a page and go, there are 4 really clever allusions to emotions or things that are happening here that I have never heard before. And there's comparisons in the way you use it. I read this, which is supposed to be commercial fiction, and it completely expanded my vocabulary, and it expanded my imagination, and the way I could describe something, because the main character has such an imagination and is so intelligent that it started giving me that sense. When I started looking at objects, I'd describe them like the main character was describing them, because I don't know, that was a really incoherent but honest rant about what I thought about those 2 books, and you'll be hearing more from me about Mhairi McFarlane because babe. Okay, talked too long again because I have a lot. The thoughts, they keep coming, they keep happening to me. I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Frogs Nog out.